Hey YouTube family, welcome back to another video. I really appreciate you all liking and sharing and commenting on my videos. It really helps me a lot, so I really appreciate all the feedback you guys are giving me. I wanted to provide you guys with an update. The last video I think I shared with you guys was about the last trick that the DOGE folks were trying to pull. They wanted the federal workers from all the federal agencies, they wanted us to provide bullet statements of what we had done to the prior week. And I think it happened on a Saturday night is when the email went out, of course, when nobody's at work. Our leadership didn't notify us until I think on a Sunday. It was like a Sunday afternoon or something like that. And they told us that we had to go ahead and provide that information by Monday. By this time I hadn't seen the video. I mean, not the video. I hadn't seen the email, so I didn't know what was in the email. Supposedly we were sent, this information was sent to our work email, so nobody was at work. But it was all over social media, and pretty much everybody knew what, the email said. I think on Twitter he had X, whatever it's called, he had put something out stating that if we didn't respond, if the federal workers didn't respond, that they were going to be terminated, or it was be considered a resignation. But if you looked at the letter that I deleted it when I got to work. I deleted it. But if you look at the video, not the video, I keep saying video. If you look at the email that was shared on social media, the email had stated that we had to provide the bullet statements. Don't put any classified information in, yada, yada, yada. And that was it. It didn't say anything about if you didn't respond, it would be considered a resignation. So I don't know. But anyway, our leadership, right after they told us that we had to provide the bullet statements, they then turned around and said, like 5-10 minutes later, they sent us another, depending on how you communicate with your supervisor, our supervisor sent a text. So she sent a text and said, don't respond. So when we were to go into work Monday morning, we were not to respond to it. So that was the latest on that. And I was like, okay then. So, going into work that Monday morning, the mood, it was for a lot of us, it was a little somber. A lot of us were very quiet. To me, it was more quiet than usual. And rightly so, because, we don't know, a lot of us don't know if we're coming or going at this point. We don't know if we're going to have a job. We just don't know. Okay. So we got through Monday. I was hesitant to leave, and we're not supposed to take our work laptops home anymore, unless we're authorized, to do so. So I was hesitant. I was going to ask for permission to take mine home, because I was like, what if something else crazy kicks off, because I get off early. I go in at about 6 a.m. And so my shift ends at about 2:30. So I get in early and I leave early. So a lot of times this stuff doesn't kick off until really late when a lot of us have left. So I was kind of hesitant to leave, and I'm like, gosh, what if something happens and I don't have my laptop? I can't respond. I was just uneasy. But I just went ahead and left, and I told my coworkers, if they could just let me know if anything kick off. And luckily I don't live too far from where I work. So it's about a 15-20 minute drive, depending on traffic. So I would just have to head back in there and, do whatever I had to do. So that was that. Today is Tuesday as I record this video. And still, we were told not to respond. We're just waiting on word from our leadership. But one thing I would like to add, I am very proud of our leadership, the upper echelon, the folks way up who makes the decisions. I'm very, very proud. And it just gives you a good feeling that they weren't about to play these games, that the DOGE folks are pushing out, and, the Trump people that they're pushing out. I work for the Department of Defense. I don't think I've shared that with you all before, but that's who I work for. That's the agency that I work for. And, as DOD employees, they don't play. The work that we do is very serious. and I can't really talk a lot about what I do, but the work that we do have, it's a lot of it's classified as top secret, it's sensitive information, and we back what they call the war fighter. We directly work with the military. Okay, so if we were to had to respond on what we did within 5 bullet statements, a lot of the information we can't disclose, so we can't really give that information on what we're working on. You see what I'm saying? So it was just crazy. It was just crazy. But anyway, DOD and then a lot of other agencies followed and said that they weren't going to play that game and they weren't going to provide that information. And I think there's some kind of litigation going on with that. I guess I can't really talk about it, but I don't know the details, so it's nothing for me to really talk about. But there is some litigation and unions and things like that that are involved. So I guess they joined the long list of legal actions that are taken against this current administration, and it's just crazy. Again, I still feel uneasy. I feel a little bit better, but I still feel kind of uneasy because we really just don't know what's going to happen. I think they're still after the folks that are on probation at this point. I did speak to someone who was in a leadership role, and she said that within, not on my team directly, but we're called an operating location. And so the whole team of folks, but not directly on my team, but the whole team of folks, we have like 3 people, I think she said, that was on probation. And, they were looking into that and see, what can be done or how they can help those folks, not lose their jobs. So I hope that works out. One of the young ladies, she did come to me because she heard me talking to that supervisor, and she, that's why I was kind of surprised at the supervisor. She didn't say names, but she just said there were 3 people, and I'm like, the young lady's sitting right there, so she knows she's one of them, right? So I didn't know that until the young lady came to me, and she was like, yeah, I'm one of the ones, that y'all were talking about. And she said, I'm upset. She said, because leadership hasn't come to me and said anything to me, to put me at ease or otherwise. And so, I really felt bad for her because she's in limbo right now. Sorry, there's bugs and things flying around because I'm outside on my patio. But she said that she felt really uneasy and, just anxious, which, which is understandable because no one's telling her anything. No one's talking to her. Leadership is kind of like, avoiding the subject and everything with her. And, their reasoning that they told her was that, they don't want her to feel, or they don't, because it's 3 of them. So they don't want those employees to, have anxiety or feel anxious. But you're making them more anxious by not, establishing communication. And I get it because they're in upper leadership and they can only say and disclose so much. I mean, they probably have a good idea of what is going on, but they just can't disclose that to her, which is understandable. But, at least say something, at least say something. You don't have to, let the cat out the bag, as they say, but, at least, say something to at least acknowledge, say, hey, we understand, you're worried, but, we're working the issue, something to that effect. So I understood where she was coming from, because she was hired, and I don't know how many of you are watching this are federal employees or affiliate with the federal government, but just real briefly, the young lady, she was hired under what they call the Schedule A program, and I think you guys probably heard in the news, Trump and them talking about Schedule A's and things like that. And what that is that's a program for you hire people with disabilities, be it physical, mental, or what have you. And that's the eligibility that she was hired under, Schedule A. But the caveat to that is she's already a federal employee. She'd been a federal employee like over 20 plus years. But because they converted her over to another appointment, what we call a conversion, they converted her over to another appointment. And so she had to serve another 2-year probation on top of the probation she initially served 20 years ago, if that makes sense. So I I don't think that's fair if they were to get rid of people that are in that predicament. I don't think that's fair, but I don't make the rules. I would think that she would be okay, but I don't know. I told her I didn't know. Of course, I guess it just, I tried to put her at ease, but I guess it felt better for her to just talk about it. And I work in HR, so I have a little bit of background on it, but if I'm, I don't know, but from what my understanding, I didn't think it was a 2-year probationary period. I thought it was more like you have to serve 2 years before you can, because after they serve 2 years when you're on a Schedule A appointment, then you can be converted to a career conditional appointment, which that will lead you to a permanent position. And so in her case, she would go back to being a permanent employee. But if someone who's brand new, never been had federal service before, then that will put them in their track to becoming a permanent employee, if that makes sense. And I don't want to bore you guys with the details, but I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. But the thing is, with her situation, she had already served her probation 20 years ago. So why does she have to serve another one? And why is she on the chopping block? I don't know. But that's just some of the stuff that's going on, just so that you guys know and to keep you informed if you know anybody, in this situation. And just real quickly, I want to give you another story. I hope you watch this to the end. Please, please, please watch to the end. But that supervisor that I was talking to, I've been working with her for a long time, so we can kind of talk candidly to one another. But I just thought it was funny because, we got into the whole political thing. We're not supposed to have political conversations at work as civil service employees, but some of us do it anyway. And we're real cool with each other and cordial. But I thought it was funny because we're talking about the voting and all that, and of course she's a Trump supporter and she voted for Trump, and we kind of got into it, not angrily, but we just kind of got into like a little debate, and I was like, shaking my head. And then she's like, well, what do you do? This is exactly her response. She was like, well, what do you do? Both candidates were bad. And it's just, you pick one or the other. And I'm thinking, a lot of people think the way she does or did, what she was trying to explain to me. A lot of people were thinking that way in that predicament. So a lot of people didn't vote, or they voted, in my opinion, for the wrong person. But that's my opinion. Obviously, because of all that's going on, it wasn't the right decision. But I just thought it was interesting that she was like, yeah, I thought everything is going to be okay. Yeah, because she believed the lies that were told, during the campaigning. So I just thought that was interesting. And I was like, really? And my response was, okay, you have a person, I guess Kamala Harris wasn't everybody's favorite. She wasn't popular or whatever. And then you have the other person that's, I said, a convicted felon. And I guess I was winning that debate. So she was like, well, you're getting too excited. I'll talk to you later. I got to go. So she just kind of hurried the conversation off. She just kind of cut me off, basically. She didn't want to debate any further. But I mean, it's true. You have a convicted felon, and then you have a person that's not. To me, that's a no-brainer. But I digress. I just thought that was interesting. I just wanted to share that with you all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I think a lot of people were thinking that way. And I think some people are just true, I don't want to say true blue, but true red Republicans, which is fine. I've said on this channel before, to me, I don't care if you're Republican, you're Democrat. It doesn't matter to me. I like to get into a debate sometimes with people, and debate both sides. I may learn something, something from their point of view. They may learn something from my point of view. But the thing is, what's going on right now, we are all human. So this is the human party, not Republican, not Democrat. We have to do what's right by people. So that's my whole thing. And that's, why I've been, making these types of videos. Hopefully it'll reach somebody, and you guys will go out and talk to your congressman. Please, please, please. I mean, protests are already, starting, and people are, attending the town halls, and they're going in. I mean, they're going in on these congressmen. That's good. I like seeing that. I mean, Republicans, mainly Republicans, which I'm glad. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad they're speaking up, because they know this is not right. They know. So guys, that's my little rant for today. I didn't want to keep you guys too long. I think I kept you longer than I normally do, but that's okay. I will go ahead and wrap this up. And please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.